Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And today is a pretty warm day for Kansas for February. I feel like it was about 60 degrees outside, which is so crazy because last week, maybe less than a week ago, we had 3, 4 inches of snow, and I was outside shoveling snow off the driveway. And then, 10 degrees or less outside, wearing a jacket and a coat and hat and gloves, just freezing outside. And then today I go out there and I'm wearing a t-shirt and it feels nice. And I'm like, that's just Kansas weather. I mean, uh, I don't know. It's like in other states where it's either cold all the time or warm all the time. I suppose that's nice to have some consistency. You live in Kansas and you just never know. One week it's snowing, the next week it's warm, and uh, it's just crazy anyway. So that's what it is like in Kansas. Um, I'm going to continue my rankings of all the Beatles songs. I'm covering number 146 through 142 on my list, and this is still in the category of okay Beatles songs. Not necessarily my favorite go-to Beatles songs that I put on playlists or I listen to over and over again, but I mean, there's songs I'll listen to. If I'm listening to an album, I'll listen to it. I won't skip it. Anyway, so all five songs are on the Abbey Road album that I have on my list here. They all come in the backside. Abbey Road's such an interesting album. Considered one of the favorites amongst Beatle fans, I think. A lot of times it's their favorite one or two. It's not one of my favorite of theirs. It's like in the middle of the Beatles album catalog, whatever. Um, there's some really great songs on there, and then there's a lot of just okay songs, in my opinion. And the whole backside of Abbey Road, of course, is kind of these uh, forgettable songs. I want to say maybe that's harsh to say, but they're not songs you really think about with the Beatles. I think in the backside, and it's kind of considered this big medley of songs where it feels like these songs that weren't exactly complete, like John or Paul were writing them, didn't quite know where to go maybe, and didn't know what to do with them, and they decided let's just kind of put them all together and make this medley of songs. So one song kind of ends, and the next song begins right away. So they kind of almost flow together in a sense, is the idea on the backside. I said most of these songs are either not that good. I had a couple on my bad Beatles song list, like Mean Mr. Mustard and Polythene Pam and Your Majesty. Those songs are my least favorite Beatles songs. And there's not really one song that's in my good category. The rest are like okay Beatles songs on the backside. I'm talking about like on the second side of the if you count like an album, two sides, one like they used to back in the day, A side and B side, whatever. So if you look at the second side, all these songs are just they're okay songs, not very memorable overall. Um, and I'm not like a huge fan of the whole backside of it. It's just okay. Like I said, that's why these are all in this category. So I'm talking about all of them. I'm going to probably say basically the same thing about all of them, but give a little background on them. But number 146, I threw in She Came In Through the Bathroom Window. Um, One of the stranger titles for a Beatles song, I have to say. I remember as a kid, there was these songs that you knew about the Beatles. Every once in a while, I'd come across a song and I go, "This is the Beatles song." Like this one, everybody, uh, what's it? Everybody's trying to hide except for me and my monkey. That's a very strange. I'll get to that's actually higher on my list though. I like that song, uh, but you got like this one and some other ones on here that definitely one of the stranger titles. And the whole point of this song is kind of this Paul's writing because there was girls that would hang outside his house, because they want to see Paul or whatever, and called Apple Scruffs. These young girls, of course, huge Beatle fans, and he would sometimes even, if I remember, he would maybe write a song and then he would get his guitar out and play it for them. Like I think Blackbird, he did that. Anyway, so one time when he was away, like two or a couple of girls got a ladder and climbed up to his window, and his window evidently wasn't locked or anything. I don't know why Paul didn't think anybody would break in, but they opened the window and went in, and I think they took some stuff, took pictures maybe, and all this anyways. And he came back and he realized the window was open and some stuff was gone. So that's why he came up with "She Came In Through the Bathroom Window." because that. Anyways, I think he got most of his stuff back eventually, but yeah, and it's just like I said, it's an okay song. It's got a decent enough catchiness to it, and all that. Uh, 145 on my list is Sun King. This one's written by John. Uh, Not sure where he came up with it, but from what I read, it sounded like he kind of had a dream. This kind of, which makes sense because it's kind of a dreamy type song, and so he kind of came up with this idea of the Sun King from a dream. Uh, Interesting. It's on the same album as Here Comes the Sun, so two songs about sun. Uh, George's guitar playing, from what I read, was inspired by Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac on the song Albatross. And I don't know a lot about Fleetwood Mac personally. I don't know Albatross, but evidently George liked the guitar part on that and kind of inspired him to do the guitar on this. I do say Sun King, it's a very slow moving song. It's maybe too slow. Maybe it's a detriment to the song. Even though I do like the overall dreamy atmosphere, I kind of like that beginning guitar part, bum 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 bum, and it's very interesting musically, I think. And there's some really good harmonies in there when they come in. Here comes the sun, you know. But it doesn't seem like a full song, like I said. Like, all of these don't feel like full, complete songs. They feel like part of a song they wrote and then never finished. Um, and that's why these are not real high on my list, but kind of in the middle of the Beatles songs. Anyways, but there's some good stuff there in Sun King. But that's at 145. 144 and 143 I kind of talk together because they kind of mesh together real well. That's 144 is Carry That Weight, and 143 is You Never Give Me Your Money. From what I read, it said that like these two songs and Golden Slumbers almost was like one song together. Like, it seemed like one part of three songs, or one part of one song, or a third of a song. Um, they have a similar, I guess, kind of feel to them. Because both are written by Paul, Carry That Weight, and You Never Give Me Your Money. Um, and Paul kind of wrote both of them kind of based on it's towards the end. The Beatles are about to break up basically at this point, and they're dealing a lot with these financial arguments over, they own the Apple company, and so they're having to figure out what to do with that. And then also they argued a lot over management, who's going to manage them. The other three Beatles want Alan Klein. Paul wanted his wife Linda's father, Eastwood, to manage. Of course, the other Beatles were like, we don't want the father of one of the members managing, because that'd give too much. They would favor that one Beatle too much, and get it would be hard for the other three to get what they want if one Beatles father's manager or father-in-law's manager or whatever. So they argued over that, and Paul definitely did not want Alan Klein. So there's a lot of arguments over management and then over the finances of the company. Personally, I find that part of the Beatles' history kind of boring, not interesting. I always skip over that when I'm reading the Beatles biography, or something. I just don't care about all that part, the legality of everything. And when I'm watching a documentary, I usually skip over, fast forward during those moments, because I don't care about the Apple company or how they manage it, or their all their arguments over the manager. It's I'm more interested in just hearing them write songs and seeing them and perform them and record them. That's the interesting part. Obviously, Paul was this was not a very happy time period for Paul, having to argue with the other Beatles and deal with all these meetings. Like I said, I'm sure they hate going to meetings. They want to play music. They're not about going to meetings. Musicians usually, I'm guessing. So he's writing "Carry That Weight" and "You Never Give Me Your Money." It's kind of some with negativity songs of, you never give me money, you just give me your funny papers. Which is all the legal paperwork they probably had to do. And again, they're probably the two more complete songs on the backside, I would say. When I say complete, like having verse, chorus, verse, bridge, some kind of organization like that. And they're fairly catchy songs, and they're decently to sing at, but not the most memorable to me Beatle songs overall. And they're more like Paul songs than just a complete Beatles song to me. That's why I got them there. at 144 and 143. And so the last song I'm talking about is at 142 on my list, and it's a song called Because. One of the most simple titles probably the Beatles ever had. What is it? Because. Because what? Because. That's, again, coming off the backside of Abbey Road. Written by John. Kind of the famous story there is that John heard Yoko Ono playing this Beethoven sonata song, and he asked her if Yoko could play it backwards, and Yoko was like, "Yeah," and she played the sonata backwards, and that's how they came up with the melody for Because, or the music for Because. Again, because the thing I like about it, of course, is the harmonies are amazing. Probably the best harmonies on any Beatles song, in fact. And I always talk about my favorite part of the Beatles is their harmonies are so incredible. I love hearing them. And this song does, yeah, it's all harmony basically, almost. I mean, there's some, I guess, non-harmonies, but there's just the whole because, yeah, it's just great harmonies, and it's beautiful kind of music. It doesn't really feel like a Beatles song, though. It feels, again, it's like Sun King. It's just so slow moving. Uh, and I like the more either. I mean, I do like the Beatle ballads, obviously amazing. Especially George. I mean, going through all the Beatles, especially Paul's, guitar ballads and piano ballads that he does. But Beatles, of course, I do love the nice pop sound that they have, and these songs don't have that nice catchy pop sound like I'd usually like. But still, because it's definitely, again, it's not very. I don't think it's a very long song, and it doesn't feel complete. It's a nice part of that last back medley, I would say. But overall, it's not one I would listen to on its own. Only when I'm listening to that part of the album, I would say. So, anyways, that's why it's there at 142. Anyway, so that's 146 through 142 on my Beatles list. Feel free to comment. What do you like these songs? I've been too harsh on the Abbey Road's backside album, back part of the album. I might be. I'm sure I'm the only one. Most Beatles fans love that part of the album, I guess. I'm not as big of a fan. That's just me, I guess. And I totally understand. If you like it, that's fine. That's great. I understand. Yeah, it's a very popular choice. Anyway, so feel free to comment on that. If you like these songs, where would you put them on your list? Obviously, I'd love to hear that. Just thank you again for watching the video, and thank you for liking it. And I'm so humbled and, very thankful to anybody that subscribes to the channel, and listens to me talk about things that I love to talk about. Anyways, and supporting me in any way. I enjoy that. Very happy about that. Anyway, so thank you and have a good day.